So in this video, I want to explain what lessons I've been taught, I believe, in the DMT realm. And the entity that I'm describing when I'm saying I've been taught something, because in order to be taught by something, it needs to be an actual entity. I've always described it as a trickster jester type entity primarily, and then secondarily it would be some mother type plant nature type entity, I believe. And this is just what attributes that I've given it personally, what I've associated it with, just based on what I've seen in my visions and what feelings I get. And as you guys know from all my videos, it's very jester-like, and a lot of these entities have interacted with me in different ways, and some of the ways have been actually with audio and actually speaking to me through dialogue, and that's only happened once. But throughout going into hyperspace and all of that, I've been getting, I guess I would say, thoughts that are inspired by my experience, and through those inspirations it's also hinting different concepts to me, I believe, based on what it's showing me. And it's very difficult to describe what I'm trying to get at here, but the main takeaway, I believe, was that these higher dimensional jester clown entities, if they were real, what I think that they would want is for people to not hold so much value in materialistic items. And it's not to say that materialistic items are bad, but it's just the type of focus that some people have on just obtaining material things. They don't necessarily focus that on to something that's more eternal, that's more lasting, I think. And what I think that the message that they were trying to send to me is that instead of trying to focus on material objects, I should focus on actual abilities and skill sets, I think. Because I think that if you were able to have a specific skill set that would be able to generate as much wealth as you wanted, then you wouldn't really need to focus on wealth primarily. Like, I see a lot of people making up plans on just how to achieve or how to increase their revenue and finances, but they don't really try to pursue something that's actually going to give them something that's more priceless and that could actually generate wealth on its own. So a type of skill that is valued by people and is also in a artistic domain. So I think that the main message that they were trying to send to me was that I should be like them, I think. And again, this is all could be just random nonsense that I'm spewing here, but for the sake of this video and for the sake of just what I've been focusing on, I think I feel that I should just share this, because I think that you would at least get to know me a little bit more. I think I've been inspired by these entities, and they've been sort of pushing me towards this concept of being like them in terms of being an entertainer, I think. So I think they've inspired me to want to become an entertainer just like them, and how I think that they're telling me to become that is to really focus on the arts. So instead of focusing on money and material objects, you should just focus on creating something that people are going to value, and something that's going to get you out of the, I guess, just the dungeons of life and get into the action and the real play. And that would be actually gaining a skill that people admire and people would want to come and focus on. And there's a lot of different avenues of that, because jesters, when I was getting these ideas coming to me, I started to think about, well, what kind of attributes does a jester have? And I started to look that up, and apparently they do a lot of things. Like they're a juggler, they're a musician, they're the primary entertainer that often is able to point out things that are, I guess, going wrong with the king, or pointing out specific flaws in his logic. So the Jester, I think, was one of the primary Renaissance type figures, or Renaissance type men you would see in a lot of the Da Vinci era type stuff, where they really were focused on trying to become as mentally fit, I think, as well as physically. So I think that that was something that I've been inspired a lot by this. So I've ever since I've had those experiences, I've been slowly trying to increase trying to expand my horizons and really step outside my comfort level into something that I'm not necessarily feeling like I would be any good at, and then just trying it anyways. Because I think that, like, if you really just push yourself into trying to get the hang of like a new skill or something, you end up pretty much getting there. I think that it's just a mental barrier of thinking that you're not able to do it, but once you just go through it and work at it, you're just able to develop that new skill. And I've been trying to do that in my life ever since that I've had this experience. So I've been trying to branch out and try to spiral out into new avenues and try to improve my knowledge base. I think I want to explore as many crafts and hobbies, specifically the arts, as much as I can, because I think that that's more of a Jester thing to do. But again, like, this is what influence I think that I've gotten from this experience, and this just might be my own aspirations in the end. Like, it just might be something that I've been in the back of my head just bouncing around, and then this thing has actually just brought it to light, and instead of it just being into my subconscious. So that's definitely a possibility, but I think that whatever the case may be, it's a good thing that it brought that out into me, and I had a new drive to really improve myself into that specific character of being a jester or an entertainer. And I think that the best way to do that is through the arts primarily. There's other avenues too. I want to explore them all. Anything that has to do with a jester, I definitely want to develop and get better at. I know all of this public speaking stuff that I'm trying to get better at with YouTube and stuff is going to help with me being more sociable and able to interact with the public better, because that's definitely something that I've been trying to work on, is getting better at being a person who can interact properly in a public area and not get anxiety and frozen and can't speak properly, because that's what ends up happening with me a lot. And some of it might happen to have to do with the fact that I smoke too much weed, and it kind of jumbles my words when I get anxiety or any type of stress. But if I don't feel like I'm on the spot for anything, then I can speak easily while stoned. But it's just, if I'm talking in front of a mic right now, it's hard for me to focus on making sure my speech is okay and everything. There's a lot going on in my head, so it ends up jumbling me up. But I think I'm doing all right now. I'm trying to not say the like four-letter word too much. I know I said it a few times, but I don't think it's overbearing. So yeah, that was the revelation I think that I've gotten from the entities. They've basically just told me, don't focus on material objects as much, try to become an entertainer and build your skill sets into that type of character. And I definitely want to build myself into a character that has a lot of charisma and stuff, instead of being so monotoned. I know I don't have much of a range, but I think if I were to like project my voice out, it would end up getting too loud, because I think I'm a loud person if I get too rowdy and stuff. So I try to just keep myself contained, but maybe that's not such a great thing, and I don't know, maybe I should drink a few shots before I film something so I'm not as nervous. Maybe that'll help my speech. Could be. But yeah, that's pretty much what I think I've gotten from these entities. I think it's a good revelation. I don't think it's a demonic revelation at all that you should be an entertainer. That's a pretty cool revelation to me, I think. And it's interesting that apparently my mom, she told me that before I was born, she said that she had an experience that she was pregnant with me, and she felt, I guess, something enter her belly or something. I don't know. This is probably bullshit. This is what she's told me. And then she said that my brother said that he got scared by some sort of clown figure, and then she asked her mom about it, and she said that, oh, that was the baby's soul entering the body. So it's funny that she said that that's the story that I'm associated with, and it's a clown thing because it scared my brother, apparently, because I was a clown in the light or something. And that's just a story that she always told me when I was young. So it's funny that that type of association I've always had in my childhood, and it's showing up in my trips and showing up in other people's trips. So maybe a lot of people have had that archetype associated with them too. It would be interesting to ask people to see how many people really connect with a jester or clown. I know my sister doesn't like them. She says she hates them, but you know, I personally really like clowns. I think they're cool. Anyways, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to let you guys know what I feel about the elves and jesters and the messages they send. And I think it's a weird one. The message they send is become an entertainer, at least for me. But that's what I would want to do, I think. You know, I might as well try to achieve something like that. But anyways, I'll see you later.